We are good to go. Yes. All right. So, welcome in. I already have a question here from the chat right now that is related to the first topic we're going to talk about, namely the event roles and event cards.
No.
No? Okay.
Mainly due because they're not finalized yet. So, I mean, there's going to probably, I can speak it, there's probably going to be one, but
There's going to be
that's
one.
about all I can say about it.
Okay.
Yes.
Not so old and a little bit older.
Okay. Yeah.
I just had to do the math. I don't even know, but that's old. The point where you stop counting.
Yeah. I will have to still experience that moment. But yeah.
When you're allowed to do everything, then you kind of stop paying attention to it.
Yeah.
Until it gets to the point where it's embarrassing, right? So when it starts getting 50, 60, then
when you
Yeah,
stop
you should
saying,
start counting it.
when you
Yeah.
stop saying I'm X years old and you're saying I'm X years young, then
Yeah, that
you've reached.
it gives a positive twist.
Not for Easter. Maybe for the big next one. Voting rules are hard. We're not adding voting rules because we don't like them, but because they're really hard to make interesting. So if we find something good, then yes, but not for Easter.
Yeah, I figured because when I do these fanmade role contests, you barely see any good voting roles. Like there are like ideas, but usually they're not very good. So that's
and even if
hard.
there are some, they're often not really voting roles because like Fool and Headhunter, they make it interesting to vote or not to vote someone, but most of the voting ideas are often just something that doesn't really fit with them.
The reason for making event roles really was to make getting and collecting roles more interesting and more meaningful. Because prior to event roles, we released new roles during the updates. So during the battlepass updates, so every 2 months you either get 0, 1, or 2 new roles. And we did that for, I don't know, a year, 2 years, 3 years. And the feeling that we got with those updates was the roles, they are nice, but they sort of just disappear. Like there's no big hype. People aren't talking about them a lot. Maybe a couple of people upgrade them via cards, but there are no new players coming in, no old players rejoining to play those roles. They just sort of disappear. And making roles for us is not trivial. Like it takes a lot of work. You have to do the testing. You have to maintain them long term as well. It's not like an outfit that you add and then you're done. But you have to fix bugs that come up later. So the idea with event roles was to just make collecting them more fun and make the roles themselves more meaningful to you as a player. Like because there's so many roles there, we're at 120 roles roughly now.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really matter if you have 119 or if you have 120. And ultimately, there will be enough events throughout the year. And there's also a very, very high chance that you can collect roles that you've missed in the past. So you don't really miss out unless you only play this Christmas and then never play again. Then you would miss out.
Small thing that I care about because I make most of the polls is that we can try fun new stuff, even if it's stupid, because the roles, they're permanent, they're in the game, but you don't unlock them always. So we can just try stupid stuff like the Headless Horseman. It's stupid, but it's fun. So we can just do those things. Before if we release Headless Horseman outside of an event, I think people would have been really mad at us because it's just a weird serial killer. But there it made sense and it's fun and you get to play it for a couple of weeks and then afterwards, if it's not a good role, nobody really cares and it's fun.
Yeah.
We can try new fun things that we couldn't try before. We look at it less, but they're still in the game, so they shouldn't be completely broken. For example, I think the Fetcher Wolf right now is too strong. It's probably going to be nerfed. So we don't, if it's completely out of line, we fix it. We also fix bugs. But it doesn't have to be super, super balanced as it had to be before. If it's, for example, just weaker, it's fine, as long as it's fun.
The problem with the super, super balanced roles is they're so incredibly hard to find. And if we do find one, they're often not very fun, like Flo said. It's often, because with 120 roles, what is the 121st role going to look like that is crazy balanced and still super fun?
Before the brainstorming sessions were, I think, over a month for each role or something like that. Now it's much shorter and we can just have fun. This will be the first time, so it hasn't happened yet, but the idea, yes. Probably with the restriction, if a role is just really, really stupid and unbalanced and not fun, then we might exclude it to kind of get rid of it, to phase it out. But otherwise, the plan is yes.
So
Maybe next Halloween another 4 roles, and then you.
Yeah, based on your answer. Okay, that's an interesting answer though. I think that whoever asked this can actually will use this well.
We would love more plushies. Flo made a lot of fun plushie images, and they look really, really cool. We're just not entirely sure how, because with Makeship, the one we did last time, they had the minimum order quantity of 200, and not too many people ordered it, so we had to buy the rest. So it depends. Maybe we'll do another one, but we can't keep buying so many plushies. Our office will overflow at some point. But we would love to. They're really, really fun.
Your office will just become a stock for plushies at some point.
It kind of already is.
Really? Oh, how well did you manage to get rid of them? Like, give them out or sell them?
Selling is difficult. We give them out. Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
And then every surface in our office has a plushie on it.
Or two, or
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's kind of cool because all of my friends have a plushie now. So wherever I go, there's a Wolvesville plushie. It's fun.
Oh, that's cool, yeah.
I mean, we're kind of invested in making event roles right now. So currently there's not really a plan. Maybe in the future we side shift to permanent roles again. We'll see. We'll see how the community reacts to roles and where we go from there.
Yeah.
Like, there's no fixed plan yet to never go permanent or to completely go permanent. We don't know yet.
Well, I think the primary blocker with them was that they are mostly not fun, if I believe correctly. Either not fun or they don't work entirely mechanically. And there was no obvious fix for them. So maybe we sit down and find a good fix for them, but it's like if you try to fix a role that's not fun and it doesn't work, fixing is not just like slipping a finger and it works. You have to sort of redesign it from scratch, and then you're back to square one. Finding roles is difficult. Finding roles that are balanced and can always be in the games even more difficult, etc., etc. So they are there, yes, but just because the name exists doesn't really mean that it's finished or that it's like really close to finished. Finding the solution to make them balance is super, super, super hard.
This is years ago, 4 years, I think, when we added hero games. We kind of added it to solve the problem a little bit of people fleeing the games. And we didn't expect people to actually like playing as heroes. We thought we have to give people motivation. But we added it and people just went completely crazy over playing as hero. And that really surprised me because I thought nobody, like, who wants to join the game after it started? But people really like it. And that surprised me a lot. I did not think hero games would be popular. That's fun.
And the other one was crazy games. We see that a lot of players play crazy games, and that's another one where we didn't expect them to play crazy games at all. Like originally, I think we had crazy games available once in a couple of days, and then they were off for long periods. Then eventually we transitioned them to always be on with rotating demos, and people play a fair amount of crazy games.
Do you have any insights? I always wondered how much every game mode is being played, relatively speaking.
I don't know the exact numbers from my head, but by far Quick Games is the largest one, by far. Then the next one is Advanced Games, or in English, it's Sandbox. Sandbox is the English Advanced.
Yeah.
And I don't know how it currently works, but when we added Crazy Games, that the first couple of times we had them, I think over 30% of the people were just playing Crazy Games and not the other things, which is a lot.
Yeah.
People really liked it.
Not anymore, I think. That's a high.
It's probably less now because it's always online. To give a bit of insight, right now, 10% of the players are in Crazy Games.
Okay, well,
kind of a lot still.
Yeah, and I think that ranked and custom games are like pretty low there, right?
Yeah.
Very low.
Yeah. A lot less. Yes.
Is it
No.
something that was that different in the past, like when there was more coverage? No?
Ranked has always been low. Ranked has always been a game mode with players being very vocal about what they want or don't want.
Yeah.
But the number of players playing ranked has always been low
Okay.
for whatever reason. I think it's
always
all.
been big games.
I think it's the game in itself. Right? Like it's Wolvesville also started out. It didn't start out as this super strict, complex system where you compete against each other. It was always the game where you just join a lobby. The roles are fairly simple. As a doctor, you just click on protect. As a werewolf, just click on kill. You have funny outfits. You collect hats, as many hats as you can carry. And so that's sort of the game, like at its core, right? So I think the kind of players that it attracts are more casual, not really hardcore. I think it also reflects the feedback, like the feedback you get from, like, not all feedback, but some of the more vocal and louder feedback is from players that really care deeply about the mechanics. But they're not the majority of players playing. The majority of players playing are people that collect stuff. They collect outfits, a million outfits. They collect cards. They collect rolls. Sort of different worlds within. All the ones that are available for sale, that would kind of be unfair, maybe, probably, to the players that are currently buying them and the sale thing that's happening still at the moment.
Yeah.
So the sale outfits, likely not. We just keep reselling them at random intervals as sale outfits.
I think every rule that we make, we tested at some point, but then we scrapped them. Like, big example is the locksmith. We even renamed it a couple of times.
Yeah, Keymaker.
Like that's one of them where we just tested it and it just wasn't fun. We tend to test every role that we made. But yeah,
Yeah.
the spy and locksmith are the big two, I think, that we tested for a short time, just so it's not fun. And then we really do not know what to do with them. That kind of exist.
They have been in the game already for a long time as well. Like I think they're like from 2022 or 3.
Yeah.
It's really old, actually, if you think of it.
I still want it.
Yes, please.
Final boss roll.
I want a squid roll. I want big tentacles coming out of the side of the screen, eating tires.
Yeah.
That would be so fun.
I really want it. Maybe with event rolls, we can be a little bit more. Doesn't have to be that balanced, so maybe it can actually become a thing now.
Yeah.
We don't have a design yet, but I still want it. I think just a roll that completely eats parts of the grid and then it goes down to 3 or something like that.
Yeah.
Really fun.
That would be fun. Yeah. Yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah.
Eliminates an entire row.
Random players
I
just
want it, yes.
get eaten.
We can find some good. I hope so.
Yeah. Like
I was very careful.
it is still pretty far in the future, so
Other questions. Should we make it one?
Yeah.
Sorry, before you answer.
I'd argue that Party Wolf. Yeah.
Hypo, what do you think? Should we make Party Wolf a regular event roll?
well, I would say you could actually, if you're not going to have them like in the games anymore otherwise, because I think the role design itself, it's pretty simple, but I think it actually works because you'll get revealed as well. So it has like some strategical element to it. But yeah, you have to consider really well how in what role tree it should be. That's like
compared to Fetcher Wolf, when we made it, we already made the nerf as well, so we coded both to say if it's too strong, we can just nerf it right away. I don't know how to nerf Party Wolf. It just kills someone.
yeah, it can kill someone, which is
it's really strong.
Yeah, like
put like backfires in there. If it kills a Aura here, it dies immediately instead. It's like certain backfires.
Yeah,
that's the Dota strategy, I think, just to release something really overpowered, and then if it's too strong, you just nerf it and never talk about it again. Nobody wants to play it because it's bad.
Yeah.
Well, technically, sure. The question is how. There are a couple of questions layered into this. One question that's sort of the business question is the onboarding process. When you as a new player join the game, some players like tutorials, some players don't like tutorials. So that's something we need to measure, how to get players through the onboarding process into the game itself. So maybe tutorial makes sense, maybe it doesn't make sense. There's no clear answer for that.
Yeah.
That's the one part. The other part, we actually talked about it, I think yesterday, or yeah, we talked about yesterday a little bit about how to best or how to add tutorials to the game. It's not entirely obvious how. Like, how would a tutorial for a doctor, for example, look like? How would a tutorial for a villager look like? Is a video a good format? Is a empty game where you are alone with a bot werewolf a good way of doing it? Like, how would it work?
Yeah.
That's sort of where we're stuck.
There's maybe something you can actually ask the community what they want to see.
That's again the thing, right? Like who are you asking? Are you asking new players? Then the community, they're not new players anymore.
Yeah.
Are you asking people that want to just have a sandbox to play with the new event roles so they understand it before seeing it in a live game? Then maybe a sandbox setting makes more sense, where they have many custom buttons and just can click around because they know what they're doing. They just want to experience the mechanic. Or is a simple, like what we just discussed yesterday, was just for each role to show a list of all the icons, all the actions that they can do. So JLab, you see the two icons, and they're explained what they do, so you at least see them once before you join the game. Maybe that's a middle ground.
I think that would make sense, personally.
If it is an issue, we can technically do it, sure. This is a major issue.
I didn't know, but according to Raphael, I think it is. Oh, I think he asked it as from a streamer perspective, because he follows this up by ideally there should be an option to hide it on your end, for example, so streamers can avoid stream hacks. So maybe he just wants like an option for as in the settings that as a spectator you can disable seeing the that chat.
Maybe.
I'm just trying to think of what the abuse is. I mean, if somebody's streaming, then yes, people can give information with the spectating mode. But otherwise, the spectator sees the same thing as a dead person. So I'm not sure
Yeah.
what the abuse potential is. I mean,
I think
possible,
streaming-
yes.
Content creation as in YouTube videos.
Yeah, and I think Twitch and Instagram and X and Blue Sky.
It's not fully announced yet, and we're not entirely sure who it's going to be announced to be honest. But there will be an update in the content creator program.
Oh,
a
that's
larger update. And I think people we started to talk about it as well. But that's not entirely finished, so we can't really announce it yet.
okay.
But there will be something. I think the moderation is cool, like because moderation at any level is very time consuming, not very fun for humans to do, and just a lot of work. So if AI can help with moderation, I think that's really cool. When it comes to graphics, that's a different issue. And I don't see Wolvesville using AI for graphic design anytime soon. The designers that we have, we've been working with them for 8 years now, or no, 8+ years in some cases. And they do really, really cool stuff. They're super responsive. It's super fun to work with them. The output is really cool. They're just really awesome people. So, and I think that will change anytime soon. Just the question of how and what exactly. But we would love to do something with clans. The reason we haven't done anything with clans in the last many years, I think, was that I think we're hoping for like a big rework of clans. But if we start adding little pieces now that could later conflict with a big rework, then it doesn't really fit. So we're still waiting for the magic idea on how to rework things. Yes. Are you in a clan, people?
Yes, I am in my own clan.
Because we still have this romantic idea of adding a village of sorts to clan, which has some real perks that come with it, sure, but at its core, a big part of it would be a visual fluff for your clan. So you could customize and design your clan however you please. You can build mini buildings, you can upgrade the buildings, plant flowers, build streets or whatever. There's a lot of visual stuff that goes to it. So like for yourself, you have the avatar, you have your hats, you have your eyeglasses, etc. And for clans, maybe a village makes sense, maybe, but that's a big question mark.
That would definitely get me back into clans, I think. That would definitely, like, I would definitely try to work on that then on my clan.
The first part, I think, understood. You were asking about free gold in Battle Pass.
Yeah.
Sure, that would be possible. The second part didn't get the other things.
I think the idea is to have the first couple of stages be free or just with gold, so you can afford it better. Was that the question?
He said, yeah, that's the first question. But the second one was introduce level points to unlock special levels, like in Fortnite. But I don't know how that works in Fortnite, so I can't really relate to that idea.
Sadly, don't know either.
I do.
Okay.
But generally speaking, more stuff for the Battle Pass, sure. It will be the Squid Battle Pass.
It will be the Squid Battle Pass. No votes.
No votes, yes. Oh, that makes things so much easier.
Yeah.
Full speed.
I am a twin, but not with Philip. So.
Oh, you have another brother.
Sister.
Oh, sister. You're a twin with sister. I always think for some reason that twins must be either sisters or brothers, but yeah, that's not the case. Do you have even more brothers or sisters, or is it just 3 of you?
Just the 3 of us.
Okay. Well, it's still quite a lot, actually.
Today it is, yeah.
Yeah, today it is. Because I feel like Germany probably has the same issue here as here with aging demographic, and
yep,
not many children being born anymore.
We sort of have it the other way around. We're sort of thinking in terms of we have players that have been playing the game for seriously 8 years. And 8 years to play a game is a huge amount of time. And obviously, sort of, you want to have something new after those 8 years, right? There has to be something that happens that didn't happen a year ago. So you need to collect stuff. You need to collect roles. You need to collect outfits, etc. So we're trying to sort of space the things in a way that is not unlocked too quickly. So we don't want you to unlock 5 advanced roles in 1 week. It just doesn't make sense because then you finish in a couple of months and the game's over. So things should take a while. They shouldn't take forever. So it shouldn't be like a super boring grind that never finishes, but it also shouldn't be finished in a week or two. So we're trying to sort of push things out in a way that still makes sense. And I think if you look at the max doubles, we have max 30 cards per month. That's the upper limit. And you need 12 cards per advanced. So if you do the math, the maximum realistically you can do is 3.5 per month. So then maybe 1 per week. I think is the if you're not paying money, then one per week is maybe the upper limit.
Yeah, that's what we're going for with event roles. That free-to-play players should be able to unlock them.
Yeah.
It's not available in Vietnam at the moment, and we'd love to bring it back. We just don't know yet how and when. So the answer is unclear, sadly, at the moment.
Yeah, because I think it's that used to be quite a big player base in Vietnam, right?
Vietnamese players seem to like Wolvesville for some reason.
Yeah.
We saw that question and didn't understand it. So there's an assumption that it's focused on XP grinders.
Yeah, there's an assumption.
Based on what?
I think.
Like why?
Yeah, probably because that's another question I've also gotten in the chat today. Is probably because the XP farmers in custom games still exist. I know the answer, but maybe you can explain to the chat why.
I think we talked about it at the beginning of the video, the beginning of the stream, right? So there are players that play Wolvesville in different ways. And at a high level, saying that you want to progress further is not something that's bad per se, right? Like everybody wants to get a higher level, everybody wants to get their battle pass. Now, is the correct way to play the game in a way that doesn't really play the game but maximize XP grinding? Maybe yes, maybe no. There are a lot of people that do this. There are a lot of players that enjoy this. And anytime when we tried in the past to stop that, we discovered that the player base that does this is really not small. That there are really a lot of players that really like this. And that's why it has been around for a while.
Yeah, and you also said like that if you remove it from custom games, for example, by disabling XP, that they're just going to move to different game modes, which could lead to more problems, right?
Very, very likely, yeah. Because people don't buy them.
People don't buy them. Okay.
We sell stuff that people buy, obviously, and the less popular stuff doesn't being sold anymore.
Do you know why they don't buy them then? Like, is that because they're just less good in terms of quality, or are they do they have less items? Is it like less value for money at that point?
Next question. As I sort of have the theory we have been doing the regular outfit sales for 5 or 6 years or 7 years before we stopped them. So that's just a ton of outfits that you can buy. Maybe at some point they're just enough outfits, and every new outfit is just tiny little bit different from the previous one, so they're less interesting. Maybe that's the reason.
We saw this question, and it was one of them that confused us a little bit because we don't know how it should be reworked. That we talked about this in the beginning. Most people only play quick games, and at least my theory is they do because it's the path of least resistance. You just click the button and you play. I don't think custom games are actually broken. We can rework it if there's reasons to, but we don't know how or why. So if there's something that we do not know, please share.
Yeah, I think it is regarding to the XP farmers, but yeah, like the one thing that I would like to suggest maybe is if there is a possibility to sort between XP and non-XP games, because that's usually where you would find the difference between XP farms and non-XP farms. But
that's fine. That's been brought up before. And one question that poses is, if we add a dedicated button to filter by XP farms and not XP farms, that gives a lot of legitimacy to XP farms.
Yeah.
Which I don't necessarily mind, but it puts a label on it that says most will approve XP farms, which we sort of do. We don't actively break them, but we're also not telling people go there to farm XP.
Yeah.
I remember brainstorming this feature exactly a couple of years back, and I got a lot of negative feedback from it.
With who do you brainstorm then? Just with the whole community, or was that with a couple people?
With a more selected group, but a group that does not like XP boosters. And the feedback was extremely negative.
Okay.
For the reasons that Philip said, they were legitimizing XP farms that way.
Yeah, okay.
I think no matter what we do with custom games, players just enjoy the other game modes more for some reason. But not entirely sure why.
I think one large part is really, it's just most people don't really care. They just want to play, and they don't want to set up rotations or settings. They don't care. They just want to play. They don't want to have fun.
Yeah.
And custom games is too much work to get there.
Yeah, I think, well, the major issue that I see is like, well, I think the host thing, like people have being able, like having enough hosts, that should be fixable, I think, from within the community. But the hardest thing is like getting the players there and having them wait for enough other players to start the game.
Yeah, I mean, the host thing is one thing. We can just have automatic custom games that open up by themselves, but then we're just making quick games 2.0.
Yeah, but then a bit more crazy, but then then it's crazy games 2.0. So yeah,
it's same thing with advanced games in English and Sandbox. We already have advanced games for English. it's called Sandbox, which is why people don't play advanced games in English, and we can do the same with custom games, and there's no reason for people to use it.
Always.
Yeah, of course. There's like a lot of ways. Are you still actually working on that? Because I still have a couple things open for you that I would like to see, but I don't know how much time you have to do that right now.
Please send them to me. I'm not really aware of any. Please send them.
Yeah, specifically the private message thing, like directly to specific players. But yeah, we'll send that.
I think the biggest one is just win rates. I mean, first we design it, we try to balance it as much as possible, and then we test it, and then we just let it run for a while, and we just see how does it do. And if it's too strong or too weak, we change it. But the biggest measure is win rate and subjective enjoyment. If people say this is just super boring, it's a sucky role. In Sandbox specifically, we sometimes do these setups with the role and without them, and we can just directly compare what does it do. It's a little bit complicated because a lot of roles have specific interactions with specific other roles.
Yeah.
So it's hard to measure, but we can roughly see if it's just way out of line or if it's fine.
And that's also going to be even more complicated as more rules are coming in as well.
Yes.
Again, one of those things, how do you answer that? Because we can, of course, come up with an opinion. You have an opinion, players have an opinion. So there are 10 different opinions which way to go. How do we pick? That's sort of the question. Do we do a vote, just let everybody vote and let the majority decide? Do we do a vote by game mode and let the game mode majority decide? It's difficult to answer.
And we did it once or twice, and the feedback was always the people were more upset afterwards than they were before. So it's really hard for us to see how should we change it, because there's always people telling us it should go this way, and there's people telling us it should go that way. And it feels a little bit like no matter what we do, people will be upset. If something is really wrong, then of course we can change it, but we're not sure if there's anything that's really wrong right now that needs to change. I mean, from a technical perspective, yes, of course we can do that. It just makes balancing for us that much harder, because right now we try to listen to everyone and the average of where a role should go. If we now divide it into many subgroups and we have to try and find the opinion of many different subgroups, it's really hard.
Yeah, it's going to complicate the system probably.
We have one of these. Please let us know what you love to change about ranked, and we'll have to take a look at it. There are currently no fixed plans, but if there's feedback for it, we'll always happy to take a look.
Okay.
Yeah, the question is, what do you mean with more interesting? The idea behind advanced games was just to have a place for people who are more advanced who don't want to play with new people. And it should otherwise be the same game. So the question is, what can we do? So if there's, like Philip said, if you have suggestions, please let us know. Yeah, English advanced is a bit of an unfortunate situation with Sandbox.
Yeah. It does make me think, is it like, would it be doable to make Sandbox in different languages as well, and then remove advanced games or change it in such a way that it becomes like more distinct from ranked and Sandbox?
Anything is possible. The question is a little bit why. If we make Sandbox in every language, then we just remove advanced games. So the question is, why do we do that? I think there's an argument to remove English advanced games, kind of, because it kind of is just Sandbox. But I don't really see a reason to make multi-language Sandbox, because that just kills advanced games, which are popular in other languages. It just boils down to, I want people to have fun. I think that forcing someone to reveal or shoot is not fun for anyone, so I don't like it. But there's not really any way to moderate it.
No. And Philip, what about you? Or do you not have a specific opinion on this?
What was said?
Okay.
That's the next question. Do you know the answer?
Like, I don't know. Like, I think the fact that they asked this, it's probably not in the rules, but people do. I suppose that people do report for it sometimes. Like, I'd probably need to speak to a guardian to know that for sure. But
It just boils down to fun again. I think the rules is just a collection of things that try to make the game more fun for everyone.
yeah,
So just anything that actively makes the game unfun for everyone else should not be okay. Are you asking a ranked player or asking you a quick game player?
yeah,
The opinion is different.
yeah. And that's also why I think the question is being asked quite a bit, because people want to hear some sort of definitive answer to this question so that they know if what they do is correct or incorrect.
Yeah. It's a difficult question to ask because at the end of the day, we just want people to have fun.
I don't define often. I would say sometimes.
Sometimes. How often do you think, if you would define it like specifically?
There's a test session count. So just make an update, installing the app on your phone, playing to test a match. Does that count? Then it would be frequently.
Okay. But
Yeah. I would say it depends on your definition of often. For example, I, and probably Philip as well, I do not play on the weekend or in my free time because I spend most of the day working on the game and I kind of want to separate it at some point and actually have free
yeah,
time.
understandable.
Yeah, but sometimes I do play, yeah. Especially for testing, and then I play a lot. But in my free time, less.
Not too much at the moment. I have a 3-year-old daughter, so weekends are mostly playing with my kid. And then, yeah, so there's not too much time. So it's either family, work, or sports. And that just takes pretty much up all the time.
I have the advantage of not having a daughter. I used to not play the last years, but for the last 1 or 2 years, I've started playing more with my friends, especially since people have started moving away and just playing online is a really easy way to play together. So for the last 1 or 2 years, I've started playing a lot more. Yeah.
What have you been playing then?
It depends. So there's one large group of us. We're currently 5, sometimes 6. It makes it a little bit difficult to find games to play together. So right now we're just playing Baldur's Gate, our
Yeah.
4th playthrough, I think, because we tried different games for a short time, and then we're like, yeah, this was fun. What are we playing now? Baldur's Gate again. We just keep coming back to it. And then if there's fewer of us, we just play whatever you can play co-op. So we jump around a lot. Since this week we're playing Slay the Spire 2, which you can now play co-op, which is really fun.
That sounds
So we
fun.
jump around.
And Philip, prior to your child, what did you play or used to play?
That was a long time ago. We used to play a lot of Battlefield, actually. Battlefield was really fun. A bunch of mini games. There was this a lot of space games, building spaceships, building economies around the spaceships. I think it was called X3, if that's correct. It's a fairly old game, but it was super fun. I spent so much time with that game. Then later, Faster Than Light was super fun. That was a cool game. Smaller stuff mostly. Nothing too big, too heavy.
Did you also do you also, well, not anymore, I guess, but did you also play games together, you two and maybe your sister?
During LAN parties sometimes. Do you know what a LAN party is?
A LAN party. Oh yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Our sister never really gamed. We during LAN parties, but we didn't game that much together, I think.
Again, my hair is gray, its hair is not gray.
Yeah.
To be fair, Philip got gray really soon, so we're not that far apart.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, I figured like the last time that Philip and I had this Q&A, he wasn't gray, so
Good.
it must have happened like somewhat recently.
For me, it just changed completely what I work with and how I work. I used to work at university before Philip acquired me,
Mm-hmm.
and that just changed. I went away from the typical jobs and do Wolvesville now, which is fun. So it changed a lot. It's hard to define how, because it's kind of one of pretty much the only work I've ever done outside of university. Yeah, but I'd say definitely positive. It's hard to define how.
So there are a lot of cool things, there are a lot of stupid things about having your own business, right? Like the fun stuff is you're super flexible. You can work whenever you want. You can work wherever you want. That makes life very flexible, right? Like we can live wherever we want. We can move wherever we want. It doesn't really matter. All we really need is a computer and fast internet. Then we're good to go. So it is very cool, very flexible, very fun. Also, working with the community is super cool. Like it's not this bank outfit where everything has to work 100%. We have players that you can talk to at any time. They're super motivated. They actually like you or like at your product at least. So that's cool. So you're not building medicine, which they obviously also like, but you have a fun and cool product that is not crazy regulated. So this is really cool, very positive. And of course, there are also downsides to having your own business, right? Like you have all the risks that come with it. You have all the legal stuff they need to deal with. That's just boring. You need to understand a lot more about taxes than the average person does or wants to know. So there are ups and downs, but I think overall the ups outpace or are a lot bigger than the downs, really.
Otherwise, you wouldn't be doing this, of course, anymore.
Yeah. It's just fun to work. Like it is really cool that you can go into any Discord group and talk to people and they care about your product. Like this is really cool. I've worked on a couple of other projects before Wolvesville where this wasn't the case. And it's very hard to work on a product when you build something, just nobody cares. Like this is super demotivating.
Yeah.
You ask a question, nobody answers. That's hard. That's different with Wolvesville. Like people, it matters to them.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
I regret introducing astronomer.
Yeah.
That counts.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I think it's just an extremely controversial role.
Yes.
Yeah, that's for sure.
And there's just extreme side to it. And I really regret the role.
Yeah, and you cannot undo it because people have the cards and everything. So
We can go the Dota role and just nerf it to the ground.
Yeah,
I suppose.
I regret adding the rose wheel. That has added so much farming, so much cheating, so much I don't know what. But at the same time, it's important for some people. So some people use it in a genuine way, and it's good for them. Other people just use it to mass transfer gold from point A to point B, and it's a huge mess.
Me? No. I don't play enough for that. On my test account, yes, but on my test account I can cheat because I can just end the day and kill wherever I want.
Yeah.
But on my real account, no. I probably should not say what level my real account is. It's not high. When I first set up my account, I wasn't working with Wolvesville. I just played with Philip. And I had the theory that if you just get a cute name, nobody will ever suspect that you're Wolvesville. And I still have that cute name. And whenever I join a testing session with people who do not know that this account is me, I was like, who is this person? It's just a random cute name. Why?
Does it still work?
Yeah. I think so, yes.
Maybe a good hint for
I think if you
people.
call yourself if you call yourself Ultra Werewolf, people are going to suspect you. If you're just something really unsuspicious and cute and have a cute avatar, then people don't kill you as much.
Started in a little cafe in Erlangen. No, seriously, did sort of. And motivation to keep going. On the one hand, it's just our main full-time job. So at some point, you just need to make money and fill the fridge. And the other side is just fun. So it is, of course, a job that we have to do to make a living, but it's a fun job that is actually cool to do. So it's cool to go to work. It's cool to build stuff. It's just cool. Hasn't really changed that much, to be honest. Like, hasn't changed that much. Like, there are more people now. Systems are a little bit different. The team's a little bit more organized. Things a little bit more grooved out. Things were a little bit more chaotic back then. But overall, things have gotten more complicated. I think that has changed. Like, that's maybe the biggest change. Like, when you start out with a fresh project, you could do anything. Like, it doesn't really matter. Like, there's nobody complaining that you do something. And over the years, the game has grown to a point where you can't really change things that easily anymore because it breaks a lot of stuff, or it breaks conventions, or people get upset, or etc.
Mm-hmm.
Also, regulations have tightened even for online games, which are not that tightly regulated, but there are more things you need to consider. So, in some cases, I think things have gotten a little bit more difficult. And I guess it's the same for you, right? Like when you started out making videos, you could do whatever you want. But over the years, I think you also learned what worked, what didn't work.
Yeah, I do know what works now and what doesn't work. Sometimes I don't always I keep it in mind somewhat, but I do not always like say like I'm only gonna do what's gonna work. Like I also do stuff sometimes that I just enjoy more as a person. But that's like the freedom that I have, and you have that to less degree because you actually have to make a living out of it. And for me, that's not the case currently.
We have that too. We sometimes build stuff that we think we like ourselves, and then we just do it.
Yeah, yeah. You kind of have to enjoy. You have to keep your. You have to like enjoy the process as well. Like otherwise, it's not like very sustainable for yourself.
We didn't have to change it. We changed it because Wolvesville sounds better.
Yeah, and it's I think also more brandable, right? Like
Yeah, I like that.
yeah.
We tried brainstorming a couple of times, but it's really hard because you always end up taking stuff away from someone.
Yeah.
Avatars? Is there any suggestion?
I don't know.
Yeah, we should replace avatars with legs. I mean, we've had avatars for the last 8 years.
Yeah.
Include the legs and shoes.
Yeah, we're adding legs.
Yeah. That's gonna make like the game gives such a weird, different feeling. I think if you do that.
We wanted to do animated avatars for a while, but it's difficult.
Oh, that could be. It could be cool, but also difficult and pretty. I don't know. Maybe it might also be like causing a lot of lag then.
Yeah, and then we also always have the people telling us they want as little moving stuff as possible because it's a text-based game and they don't want to be distracted. Yeah.
And then there's also people.
The answer is nothing currently planned. Yeah.
No, okay.
You should have at least 3 advanced roles.
Yeah.
But literally them is difficult.
Yeah.
I mean, what are the exceptions? It's just full headhunter and red lady, right? Everything else does.
There's seer, jailer, flower child. There are quite a couple of them.
Really? Okay. I think most of them are just really, really strong roles or very niche roles like jailer is very hard to find in advanced roles. So the answer is yes, we want at least 3 for every role. The reason they don't is not because we don't want them to, but because it's hard to find something. My most popular ones are the recent event roles. That answers the question.
Okay.
I like Ruler a lot, but Ruler turned out to be a Yule Wolf. There's some fun ideas in there that I'm still waiting for the correct event or maybe a correct idea of how to slightly rework it and how to make it work. But I'm reading Roll Vote a lot, so it's heavily influencing event roles.
Okay.
This goes a little bit back to what Philip said, that sometimes we just add things because we want them. Werewolf fan is a role that I just added because I wanted to play it, but that's the role I play the most. It's not a good role, but I just think it's fun.
I actually don't hate it.
Always been able to. Yeah, but it's one of those roles that's just weaker than the base role. So it's kind of bad in that way.
Yeah.
I just like playing it. It's fun.
I like playing head or full. Head hunter or full. I like to troll people.
Yeah, voting
I
rules.
think that's-
Yeah. Do you also like playing Anarchist then, or not so much?
I haven't played it for so much. I don't know why. But I
Yeah.
prefer the simplicity of Fools and Headhunter, really.
It feels like you just have a lot of freedom to do whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. I actually think it's just a cultural thing. I think in Germany everybody knows it as Werewolf, and in some places people know it as Mafia.
Yeah.
I think it's the same thing, just different regions call it different names.
Nope, I'm sorry.
I'm Googling now if that helps, but no, don't know it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just working astronomer. Then I'm happy.
Just Astronomer and Flow. But if you had to pick 3 then.
Maybe Flagger. That I was placed ahead.
I'm looking at the roles right now, which one I don't like. I mean, I would remove some of the deprecated ones that we never released, if that counts.
Yeah.
I'm not super happy with Fortune Teller. I'm not sure if I would go as far as removing it.
Sheriff. I think it's
Sheriff.
foreign. Yeah. No, I don't like Sheriff.
Is that personal, or is it actually something that you first? Okay, personal.
Just
Okay.
Violinist has bugs, so maybe that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, because the team thing is
It
kind
has
of complex.
bugs that I cannot figure out where they come from. I think some of it might be just misunderstanding, that some people understand teams differently.
Sometimes. Not very religiously, but sometimes. If there's something fun in it. I watch your channel.
Yeah, I know. I've seen like even you've also left comments in the past on some of my videos, I remember. So
I'm stalking you, yes. Next question. I think we were a little bit lazy in making setups for some reason. Ideally, we still want a way for the community to better control and make setups themselves in some way. Maybe we'll add that. It's sort of on the list.
That could be really interesting, I think. That sounds like a major update.
Yeah, not entirely sure how it would look like, because somebody still needs to make the setups. And where would they go? Maybe we do a vote on setups for quick games. Maybe do a vote on setups for sandbox. Maybe. I think there's some value in that, because with so many roles, just rotating the setups is actually cool content.
Mhm.
And it's so easy to. So
I would apply them to sandbox personally, because testing game mode. But yeah, that's just me.
Yeah, but Sandbox is it's an English niche, so it doesn't help everyone else who doesn't play English.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
focus is definitely Wolvesville Online, but maybe could be fun. That's something that the moderators know best.
Okay.
We just build the app.
Yeah, you did the app. Yeah, that's enough work already, I suppose.
We're always considering different games. We have a little bit of an issue that we're developers and not game designers, so we struggle a little bit. But we do make apps outside of games. Like we've made Cookzone recently, which it's out of focus, but I have it here. You can't read it. So that's the last big thing we did. And we're always looking into new things. Just unsure if it's games or other applications. MyAdvent is cool, but it's a Christmas thing, so it's an advent calendar, but it's really fun because it's just a fun product. Cookzone is newer, and it's fun. At least for me, it's just a tool that I always wanted to have. I was unsatisfied with the apps that existed, so we just made that.
What does Cookzone do?
It's a recipe collection for cooking recipes, and you can just take a picture of your cookbook or enter URL, and it reads it in, just parses everything, and then it presents it to you in a way that is easy to use.
Oh, I
And
could.
there are other apps. Yeah, I've always wanted to have something like this, but always the path of getting the app, getting the recipe into the app has always been super painful for me because you have to enter it somehow. And this app, you just take a picture and does everything for you. That's the main reason for it. I enjoy using it.
I'm going to 100% download that because I like cooking as well. I also have a lot of recipes, so I'm gonna see if it works for me. Do you cook
If you
as
have any
well then?
feedback, always welcome. I cook a lot. Yes, it's one of
Yeah.
my biggest hobbies.
Yeah, I cook.
Yeah,
We cook.
we cook. You
We
cook.
also use Cookzone. Yes.
Okay.
Our entire family has migrated to Cookzone. Yeah.
Short answer is we're looking at it. We're looking at different options. We're looking at the content creator program. We're looking at ads, and we want to do a little bit of experimenting and see what works.
Okay. I'm curious to see if I will ever run into a Wolvesville ad then. But yeah, I do get ads for stuff that I already have sometimes, so it would be totally possible.
Actually brainstormed something like this. It's really hard to come up with reasonable objectives for every role, because you always have the issue that you don't want people to troll. So you kind of have to give objectives that make sense for that role without breaking the game. And then some roles just don't really have anything they do. So it's hard. We brainstormed it a couple of times, and just coming up with objectives for every role is very difficult.
Yeah. And if you're gonna have rewards, I'd imagine you also need to ban this type of progression in certain game modes, like custom games and crazy game modes, because otherwise people can farm it like pretty easily.
Unless that in itself is also fun. I used to play Team Fortress back when I was at school, Team Fortress 2, and they started adding challenges, achievements. It's like the first app that really had achievements in Steam, and they just kind of went nuts with it and added achievements that you cannot unlock while playing. And I remember just being on servers that were dedicated to unlocking these maps built specifically for it. And that was some of the most fun I've ever had playing that game. So there is some valid in having something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's difficult.
The hard thing with social deduction is that you cannot say like, well, definitely not shoot 10 villagers as a gunner, for example. That's definitely like out of reach. But yeah, also like,
or even if the aim is shoot a werewolf, then people will just shoot randomly to get it over with as soon as possible.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah, or like check 10 players as a werewolf, as seer, then people are just gonna check people that are already known werewolves. So
and if we then make it the challenge is super safe that people can do them, then they become boring. So
yeah,
difficult.
it's difficult. Yeah.
There are always players coming in. The players coming in, the players leaving. So the total volume hasn't gone up that much. But there's still players coming into the game. That's for sure.
Well, as long as that happens, the game would definitely be going good, I suppose. Yeah, I would really like to thank you for being here. I hope you enjoyed it as well, and that I hope especially that the community also got their questions answered, and that they are a bit wiser now about the whole process and about everything that's to come and what has come. And hopefully you keep doing great stuff for the game. I would love to see some really cool updates. So yeah.
Thank you so much for having us, Hugo. It was really fun. Really enjoyed this. And please, for all the feedback, please send it in. The feedback is very, very important. So without feedback, we're building stuff blind. So if you want something, let us know. Let us know once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. Just keep at it. That's very important. New rules, new features, reworks of stuff, everything's for a game. Just let us know what you think. That is super, super important.
Thanks for having us. It was fun.
Okay.
Thanks for making videos. That's great.
Yes.
Vote for Squid next battlepass.
Yeah, vote for Squid next. Not gonna happen this time, I think. I heard it was not in the top 3, I think, right?
This time I think we have theme. What was it? Dinos. We have dinosaurs.
Oh, yeah, nice. I did vote.
We should do it. We should do a dino boss or something like this.
A dino
For
boss.
villains.
That would
That would
make
be fun.
sense, honestly.
Yeah, something. We have to do something with dinos. If you have dino-related Wolfsville ideas, please let us know.
Shout out to my members who financially support me: Freddy, PuppyDog101, That Joker HD, Amop, my anonymous member, and the 4 community members. If you want a chance to win the Wolvesville Junior plushie, make sure to subscribe. I will give him out at 7.5k subs, and I will see you later, and don't be a traitor. Goodbye.